All right. Is the third time the charm? That's the question. Is the third time the charm? I'm having some technical difficulties today. So a storm came through town while I was away. I was out of town, so I don't even know exactly what happened, but came home. My computer is basically like reset to default settings. I got in at like 1 in the morning last night too, so it's not like I've had all day to poke around with this. So hopefully whatever was going on is now resolved. I don't know what was going on there. All right, cool. It looks like you guys can hear me. Well, that kind of sucks. Pretty much all momentum for the day is kind of cooked because I'm sure a lot of people just kind of moved on, but whatever. We'll just try to make the most of it. So welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, oddly enough, I don't know why this would be your first time since we're restarting for the third time today, but what we do is an overall market recap. So we'll start out by looking at the markets, and then we're going to move on. Oh, by the way, when I say markets, I mean the crypto market. Once we cover crypto, we'll move on to silver, gold, oil, Japanese bond market. Now, just as a heads up, because my computer got completely wiped out, I have a lot of tabs that I keep like open. They're all gone, so I'm gonna have to kind of rebuild this thing in real time. You know what happened? I get home and my PC is just completely wiped out. So kind of spent a little bit of time this morning trying to get back on track. So I apologize in advance if this one's going to be a little rough. I'm just going to get my tabs open now. Of course, I'm going to have to put dark theme on back again. And then tomorrow things will be better. I got back into town around 1 in the morning, so I haven't had time to, run through everything. It's not every day that I don't even know what happened. I just know that there was very strong winds. Seemed to have knocked the power out of my house. My monitor wasn't working. I had to unplug that. Well, now the monitor is working, so that's good, but kind of threw me off my mojo here. Let me see here. We're getting there. All right, cool. We're getting there. We're getting there. Usually I have a different Brent oil in yen. We're gonna knock this one out real quick. Okay. Do we have everything we need here? We got gold, silver. Okay. Government bond, crypto. Oh, let's get the U.S. stock market up here too. S&P 500. Let's get this thing up there. There we go. That's what we want to see. This one will probably be good. I don't like the way this chart looks. Let's see if we can get a better one. Maybe this is the one we want. Yeah, there we go. Okay, we're good. I think we're almost... Thanks, staff. I think we're almost back to normal, guys. So I got crypto up. I got the bond market up. Silver, gold, S&P 500. Then we got Brent, oil, and yen. Let's just get WTI up there as well, just because I know that's what we look at here in the U.S. So that's at 93. Can I get a chart of this? And then once I have that, we're good. Okay, there we go. So this wasn't about vacation. I don't know. My house got hit with a storm. Let me talk to Mother Nature about that. All my stuff, all my electronics got hit. So is what it is. All right. Well, it looks like we're finally ready to roll here. So it's 11:20. We'll just kind of pretend this is where we're starting. So looking at fear and greed, we're pretty much out of that fear zone. It's really kind of right here in the middle. Like I was saying yesterday on the stream, I was expecting to see some forward momentum, and we are in fact getting that. So, you know, even just yesterday when I was streaming, that would have been 11 a.m. Let's see if this chart doesn't go by the hourly, but even yesterday we were pulling out of this fear and greed zone. We're right now smack dab in the middle. I think this means that a lot more money is going to start pouring in, and it seems like we've seen some evidence of that already. Bitcoin's been hanging out very comfortably over 74,000, even with the profit taking that we've seen. This always happens, by the way. Bitcoin got pretty close to 76,000. We saw some profits being taken, you know, through the night. I expected this going to bed. I was like, well, it's probably not going to be as high when I wake up tomorrow, and that usually plays out that way. But, you know, we're still seeing Bitcoin sitting above 74,000. If we pull this out to the weekly chart, like I was saying yesterday, what I've really been looking for is to see those moving 5-day averages, which really on this chart we're looking at 7. You know, this is that forward momentum that I was talking about. So as long as this continues throughout this week, it's going to make me more and more optimistic that I do believe the bottom is in. So if I pull this out to the monthly chart, you know, I know the monthly charts go like first of the month to the first of the month, but if today was in theory the first of the month, we'd actually be looking at a 7.5% increase on Bitcoin. That'd be the first time this has happened since September. So Bitcoin's had 5 red months in a row. I think we're going to probably see the first green one coming up here. Now, it might not be like a crazy chart. Like it might only be like 3-4%. I think we'll see some pretty giant growth coming in later on during the summer. Maybe the June, July, August months are going to have some pretty wild and crazy growth. I don't necessarily think April is going to be the wild month, so I do think there's time. But this indicates to me that, you know, the bottom of the cycle is in. I think that's the case. You know, we could always be wrong about this, but you know, I'm seeing almost two consecutive weeks of growth. I haven't seen that since December, and of course, December did have a nice little cliff that it fell off of, but I do think that the sacrificial lamb has been sacrificed. I think we're going to start seeing this thing move on the way back up. Probably see it cross 125 sometime this year. I don't know exactly when, but I would imagine that we'll see new all-time highs in 2026. That's my prediction. It just occurred to me, I haven't said good morning yet. For those of you just joining in, that may not have caught the original intro. I don't know what's going on. We had some crazy storms. I was on vacation and I wasn't here for them. I just know that they happened. And it shut the power off to my house. So I had to reboot my computer from scratch, and a lot of my my preset settings weren't working. It wasn't registering my camera or my microphone or my monitor. It was basically like if you just booted up a brand new computer by itself with no like accessories. So I had to get that straightened out. And then for some reason my router wasn't streaming high quality. I went and plugged the hardwired in. Haven't had to do that in a while, but I'm hardwired in right now. So it's possible that the local internet company is also having trouble. But it looks like we're on track now, so we can pick up where we originally wanted to start. By the way, no coffee today. For those of you that don't know, I used to do carnivore. I'm kind of just going to see, like, let's see if I can do 2 weeks of carnivore, kind of reset my dopamine levels. No nicotine, no caffeine, no alcohol, just red meat and salts. And we're going to see. I'm just going to do it for 2 weeks and see how things play out. These past couple of weekends have been had a couple back-to-back fun weekends. So no coffee on stream today. We're just drinking this bubbly, sparkling water. So what's going on, Pat? What's going on, Wine? What's going on, Dean? Millpower, Stav, Ollie, I think I got you guys. There were some other people. I think we lost them, and when we had to restart the stream, hopefully they come back. Anyways, moving on to XRP, our favorite token here on the channel. It crossed, I think it crossed 160 at one point yesterday. In fact, it might have even gone a little bit above that. Let's see. Okay, so we had, oh geez, it might have only been for like a few minutes, but we did officially hit 160 last night, which is pretty cool. Of course, we got some profit taking, nothing wrong with that. You know, you kind of always expect that, right? Like, you're not going to see a 10% run in one day without some kind of profit taking exercise, and that's what we're seeing here. But like I was saying about Bitcoin, this is 1 week of solid growth. I feel like the worst is over. Of course, on this channel, I'm always saying dollar cost average, but I'm starting to get to the point where I'm thinking, like, you know, if XRP gets back into the $3, $4, $5 range, oh, good morning, Scorpio. That's going to make it kind of hard to like do some meaningful stacking, because right now at $1.50, I mean, could in theory get to 100,000 XRP. I think would cost only $75,000. Or wait, no, maybe I got that backwards. Yeah, I got that backwards. My bad, you guys. Well, nonetheless, let me just see. What would 100,000 divided by 1.5? I should know this. Okay, so you could get 66,000 repeating XRP right now at its current price. Not saying to go out and get a loan and do that, but point being, you know, you can get a lot of XRP right now when it's at $1.50. If XRP goes to $5, you can only get 20,000 tokens with $100,000. And so, you know, I think that when XRP pulls above the $5 range, that's going to be the spot where it's like, you might be kind of stuck with what you've got in terms of like token quantity. As we see the price move beyond 5 and into the 10, 15, 20 range, the dollar cost averaging, or the stacking idea, is it's going to get more and more difficult. And the reason that matters is because there's a finite supply of XRP. There's only ever going to be 100 billion. So it's inflation resistant, which is what we like about crypto. And it just goes to show, when the prices are low like this, if you truly believe in these projects, this is not a bad thing. This is actually a good thing. And we almost want to be kind of glad that this happened. Like, can you imagine, you guys, if XRP would have just kept ripping last July? I have to imagine a lot of us here on the channel would be stuck with what we had back then, not nearly as much as what we've got right now. So in a weird way, I'm kind of glad that we had this one last buying opportunity. I do think it's going to be coming to an end in the relatively near future. I don't know how much time we've got left with XRP below $2. I do think at some point this year we're going to see all-time highs for XRP, meaning it's going to go above 360. I don't know what that final number is going to be. Could be looking at the $5 range at the low end, and then of course, as we track the reverse carry trade, could be looking at triple digits at the high end. But I don't want to push too much hype on that. Let's just take things one day at a time. We all know the reverse carry trade theory. So Ethereum's pulling pretty good. Ethereum is up 12% on the week. I think right now they are leading the industry, at least in terms of large cap coins. Now, of course, if you go and sort by percentages, the meme coins always have these crazy growth numbers, and that's because their market caps are sometimes in the low millions. Ethereum having 280 billion, for them to have a 12% week is actually pretty substantial. So good for them. I have a little Ethereum. I don't buy a lot of it. It's not a coin that I necessarily am that excited about. But I do know that Ethereum and Bitcoin are kind of like Pepsi and Coca-Cola. And that it's like these are the two most popular tokens. You can't really argue that. And so to see them getting this kind of growth, it just means to me that, the fear and greed cycle is coming to an end. Money's coming back to crypto. Of course, that's going to extrapolate out to some of our favorite altcoins as we move into the summer months. Interesting things. I'm not a big fan of Dogecoin. I never have been. Dogecoin's actually not really doing that great this week, in all things considered. I tried to stay away from coins that have an infinite max supply. I also try to stay away from the proof of work tokens as well. So that's one that I personally would not be buying. Interesting one here is Hyperliquid. Hyperliquid's been doing very well lately. I don't have any Hyperliquid, but they are up 30% on the month. Flare is partnered with them to some extent. Now, the Hyperliquid platform helps house some of the DeFi stuff that we work on. So, this is pretty cool. I don't have any of that. So it's not like I'm up 30% on a token I don't have, but it's nice to see that some of these DeFi tokens are starting to rip. I still think that Flare is going to rip more. It just might have a little bit more time in the oven. But nonetheless, Hyperliquid definitely leading the market, at least for this week, even doing better than Ethereum. So pretty cool stuff there. Just going down the list, I believe HBAR. Oh, HBAR was above 10 cents for up until a few minutes ago. So HBAR is now officially back under 10 cents, but hey, I don't think that's going to last very long. It's another token I'm expecting to see some pretty tremendous growth out of in the very near future. Not a lot of great opportunities for yield. You can get a 2.5% yield on HBAR through the Hashpack platform. There might be others out there that I'm just not aware of or not in. But 2.5% for me is kind of low at this point. That's why I'm very much focused on Flare. By the way, BitTensor had a little bit of a pullback. We were looking at it earlier. It was almost 60% growth. Now it's back down to 46. So it looks like there's been some profit taking on BitTensor as well. Another good one to keep an eye on. We all know that AI is going to be revolutionizing the tech space. I mean, you could argue that it already has, but it's going to continue to do so. Looking at some of my favorite tokens in the game, we're going to be looking at Flare and Quant. So Flare's lost a little bit of its space here in the 60 range. At one point it was in the high 60s. Now it's at 66. Actually, Flare is approaching all-time lows still. Probably has had the worst week, if you really want to take it that way, out of all of our favorite coins. I've been saying for weeks now, Flare is my favorite token. I think that Flare is going to do some tremendous things in the near future. I'm looking at a 0.87, early a 0.0087 Flare. I don't know that we'll ever see these prices again. I don't think it's going to go down too much further. And so I'm looking at this thinking, might be a good time to really accelerate your position while there's still an opportunity here. Myself and Millpower are exploring some options of how to really accelerate Flare while we have an opportunity, but share more about that as I have better details. By the way, something that I said on the stream yesterday, I'll say it again tonight or today. Your staking, tracking it. I've got to go back and track mine. We are going to end up owing income tax on our staking yield. Not something I'm happy to report, but it is important. If we do not report our staking yield, if they come after us, that's going to be a big problem. So if you haven't been tracking this, you should. And if you have not filed for taxes yet, definitely go back in. Try to find out what your cost basis is on your, not just your Flare, but if you're staking Solana or Ethereum or HBAR, Try to find out what your cost basis is, measure that up with what your current stack is, and try to find that difference. It's real complicated too, because like, how do you know what the price was when you got the yield? This is some pretty complicated stuff. I'd recommend trying to talk to a CPA who might know a little bit more about this. I'm certainly not a tax professional. Actually, I'm not a licensed professional either, so this is not financial advice, not tax advice. Definitely talk to someone qualified, especially with the tax category. Now, Quant is up to 68.6. Pretty good week for Quant. They're up just shy of 9% on the week, but actually still down 3% on the month. We'll have to see how this one does over the next coming weeks to months. I would like to buy more Quant. Once I'm happy enough with my Flare position, I'll be switching over to Quant. But right now, I do feel like Flare is the better deal. So that's kind of like, I'm all in on Flare, at least for now. That could change. You know, I'm seeing XRP move. I'm seeing Quant move. I'm seeing H-bar move. I'm not seeing Flare move, and so it's like, well, I think Flare is going to have some catching up to do. May as well allocate towards that, and then kind of even things out over the long run. Once market kind of just like, once everything start moving again, then I'll just do a set it and forget it dollar cost average, which I think everyone should be doing by default. So it's good to have weekly orders, and then pick something that you want to allocate like extra cash flow in that's not necessarily part of a schedule, but like it's a way for you to kind of do a little bit of min-maxing, a little bit of micromanagement, I think is fine. So I'm going to be jumping over now to the JP10Y. Yesterday when we covered this, I believe it was around the same levels. I don't think it's changed a whole lot since the stream yesterday. In fact, it looks like it might even be down just a hair. I mean, we're still sitting here at 2.268. It's essentially 2.7. We'll just round that up. 2.27. We just need to see, can this thing hit 2.5? Can this thing hit 3%? We get those ranges. I think the reverse carry trade's still in play. I just don't think that it's going to happen at the current volume. But it's certainly about breaking the camel's back. So I'm going to definitely be, you know, watching this on a daily basis. We will see where this goes. Ooh, by the way, my dog's clomping around over there. What's going on, little guy? Haven't seen him in a couple of days, so we're gonna do some hanging out today. Silver kind of falling off a cliff here. We're at $78 an ounce on silver. You know, it just I was expecting silver to go on a run. This is just the complete opposite of what I was expecting. I still think there's some manipulation going on in the metals market. That these prices don't necessarily make sense to me. So manipulation or corruption is kind of where my logical brain goes towards. Same thing's going to be true for gold here. So gold sitting underneath 5,000 again. I mean, guys, look at this, like really kind of off of a cliff here. I mean, this looks like a chart went skydiving, right? Those are some pretty steep red candles for gold. Even more so, actually. Oh, no, it's about the same for silver. Yeah, look at this, you guys. I'm always saying this on the channel, but these charts are too similar. This is just, to me, does not compute. Because silver and gold do different things. It should not be this neck and neck. So... Deep Dave's correct, by the way. If you guys could like the stream, I'm seeing currently 30 of yous. Only got 12 likes on the channels, or on the stream anyways. Sorry, my own streams are a little crossed. Having those technical difficulties kind of threw me off my momentum, but we're trying to get back at it. Yeah, GK Carmen's correct. Why is silver and gold trading like a crypto? Aren't these supposed to be the stable assets, the things that are supposed to be a store of value? Why is it that these store of value assets are not storing value very well? They're super volatile. I mean, even more volatile than like tech stocks. Something very strange going on there. While the crypto market rallies, the stock market actually not doing so hot. I actually had a feeling this would happen. It seems like whenever there's a crisis, people rotate out of high risk assets first, and then you might see the high risk assets get piled onto at the end of a market collapse. But then the stock market's kind of playing catch up. So I think we're going to continue seeing the stock market fall down for the foreseeable future. Probably not like crazy at first, but if the oil market, and right now I'm looking at Japanese yen, Brent oil. If Japan runs out of oil, you can expect that the stock market's probably going to take a pretty heavy beating, maybe 10-20% slide. And I think that'll happen pretty fast too. I think it almost happened maybe in like a week, maybe even shorter than that. There's some time before Japan runs out of oil. They're hitting the reserves right now. It could be 3 months, 6 months, 9 months. It really depends on the rate of consumption and how much they actually have in reserve, and also how much they're able to replenish. So they can get oil from other places than the Middle East. It's just that that's where they get their oil. So to set up these new supply chains and logistics routes, that doesn't just happen overnight. So it is an option for them. We might see a little bit of that, but I just don't think that the Venezuela oil thing is going to necessarily pull Japan out of this situation. Especially considering it's not just Japan, China, Korea, Vietnam, Thailand, they're all getting oil from the same spots. So once those reserves run low, I think we could expect to see this get to a pretty scary situation. We're just going to have to keep monitoring it. I don't think its current prices is enough to trigger the reverse carry trade. So we're just going to have to keep monitoring it. As far as crude goes, crude's sitting right now at around $95 a barrel. That's still pretty bad, but it is a correction from the weekend. So let's see here. We opened, let me see if I can pull this thing. Oh, wow, this chart's by the minute. We don't necessarily need it by the minute here. So we saw, let's see here. Wait a minute. This doesn't seem right. This chart seems a little goofy to me. I'm trying to find the right dates here. Okay. Oh, I get it. Each candle is 1 hour. All right. So we saw, last week, crude was at 115 for a while. I guess it hasn't really gotten above 100 since, but it's up for you for your interpretation. Is 98.7 high enough? I'd say that's basically 100. You're kind of splitting hairs at that point, but we're at 95 right now. Still pretty bad. We don't want to be above 100 for too long because this is going to really affect a lot of our industries here. I'm expecting to see some pretty widespread economical downwind from this. Layoffs, I mean, it's always going to happen when prices go up. The layoffs start coming. Hiring freezes. The job market's probably not going to look that good going into Q2 and Q3. So some of us might be really relying on crypto to lead the way. In times like this, I always say, don't feel too proud to do DoorDash. Don't feel too proud to do Uber. There might be opportunities here to kind of stay afloat using gig economy work. I myself, I was working in corporate finance, doing this YouTube channel. trying to do the YouTube channel full time for now, but considering going back to work, I'll still do the channel at night, you guys, because right now you need every dollar you can get, and so sometimes you gotta think like can I put my hobbies on hold for a little while, just put my head down and focus on growing the finances, or in some cases preserving the finances, just as important. I'm going to take a quick sip of water here before moving on to our DeFi. Now, unfortunately, I'm going to have to relog into all of this, which is going to be a huge pain, but we're going to at least give it a try here. So I'm going to head over to my sheets and we'll get this open. Oh, now that I'm on my big monitor, I can at least put the whole thing on one tab now. When I was on my laptop, I had to scroll it around, but I have not had a chance to fill in today's data, so I think we're just going to try and do that real quick. If you don't know how to do this, just go to the Flare network, go to participate, delegate and stake. I'm not expecting to get any delegations today, but it wouldn't hurt to at least take a gander at them. So I'm going to be hitting that wallet connect button. Let's go. Where is it at? There we go. I'm not expecting to see anything for staking or delegating. So yeah, there's nothing to claim on either front, which would make sense. I claimed yesterday, so not expecting to get another stake reward until March 26th. So we'll keep an eye on that. For now, this seems to be about what we expect. Now I'm going to head over to Flare Assets. We're going to take a look at the collateral pool. By the way, you guys, tomorrow is the big day for Firelight. So we'll be checking that out in real time. I'll be streaming Firelight tomorrow, and we'll just see, can we figure out what's going on there together in real time. Now, it all depends if Firelight going to be live while I stream. That I don't know. They just said that the vaults increase tomorrow. I don't know if they've said what time. We can head over to Twitter to see if there's any info on that here in a minute, but at least for now, I don't think that there's like a time that they say it's going to be available. Just that it's happening tomorrow. So I'm officially over. Sorry about that burpee, guys. Officially over half an XRP for my collateral rewards. And I guess the question you have to ask yourself, 50,000 XRP only, or 50,000 Flare, generating about half an XRP per month. Is that a good deal or not? I'm so far thinking that the collateral pool has maybe underperformed wrapping and staking. Now I know that the AU agent gives you their epoch. So in a weird way, that could be kind of like saying that the AU agent itself is underperforming, but maybe that's not really a fair assessment. But just running the numbers, it's very clear to see that the collateral pool is significantly behind, even if you do factor in the FXRP collateral reward as well. Just kind of something I think about. It's like, well, I know I'm getting way more on my staking, like by a long shot. So it's like, it's kind of hard for me to think like, oh, well, maybe I'll keep the collateral pool around after this experiment's done. I probably won't. But that's good. Now we know, right? That's what this whole experiment is for, is to see, can we get to the real answers. Now let me connect up here. Hopefully tomorrow we don't have to do this because it'll just be working. By the way, I don't know if you guys around the country have had similar experiences. I wasn't in town for this, but we had wind so bad that it knocked the gas station over. Like the the canopy of a gas station actually got blown off the top and ended up in the street. So that's pretty crazy stuff. Maybe I'm glad I wasn't here for that. It certainly blew all the snow back in. We had a nice good weekend about 1 week ago, and then now it's already back to wintertime here. Kind of makes sense in the north. You don't get real spring weather till like April. Maybe it's time for me to move down south. I don't know. What do you guys think? I know some of you guys are in Tennessee. Oh, Dean says the weather you're talking about hit us yesterday evening. We got covered with snow all night. What? Aren't you in the south? It's not allowed to snow down there. That's unreal. I was in North Carolina. It didn't snow there, but man, was it nice. North Carolina is a cool spot. I might have to consider going down there for long term. Just my type of people, you know. Here we go. Ooh, Naples, Florida. You know, I was thinking my short list is North Carolina and then Tampa, Florida. I went to Tampa, Florida for a bachelor party, or two bachelor parties actually, and each time was awesome. I'm like, all right, this place is awesome 2 times in a row. I think I belong in the warmer weather areas. Plus, you know, I don't talk about it too much on this channel, but you know, I'm pretty into the whole fitness industry in general. So like, Florida seems to be a spot where a lot of people are in shape, kind of into like the bodybuilding type stuff. I feel like that'd be a good spot for me. Maybe like when crypto hits, like I'll just open up a gym somewhere, and just having a gym will be like my excuse to like stay busy so that I'm not just being a crypto degenerate all day long. Let's see here. So I got the spreadsheet fully updated. I think what I'm probably going to do, because I don't want to necessarily have more than 2,000 FXRP right now, I'll probably take 200 out of Mystic and stick it into Firelight tomorrow. The Mystic rewards back down to 2.5%. So here's what I don't like about this. It's so wishy-washy. It's really hard to plan ahead. I like to know what my rewards are going to be. I want them to be consistent. Like, I get that, like, you know, your yield will change a little bit over time. I don't like seeing the yield change from 1% to 4% and then to 2%. I need some stability if I'm going to do something long term. Because otherwise, it's really hard for me on the Mystic platform to make any, like, decision making, because I don't want to be like, oh, I'm going to get 4%, so I'm going to plan ahead for 4 and then see it drop down to 2. Would really kind of throw a wrench in my whole program. So I'm not too thrilled with Mystic for now. I do think Kinetic has been a lot more consistent. It's stayed in this 8% range for Flare since I've been in it, and then the FXRP there, you know, it's only around 2.5%, but at least it stays there. Like, at least it stays at that level, and I'm not kind of like flip-flopping on the yield all the time. I'd rather have some consistency there. So Mystic right now, not entirely thrilled with. I'd like to see this improve, but nonetheless, we'll find out with Firelight. When Firelight goes live, I think we'll be able to find out pretty concretely if we're getting good yield on that or not. So it seems like a lot of you guys live down south. We got some NC, we got some Florida, we got oh shoot. Dean, you were in Charlotte, North Carolina. I was there. Well, I was in Charlotte's airport yesterday. I don't know if you really consider that being in Charlotte or not, but tell you what, man, 70 degrees is like perfect weather, dude. So maybe I gotta move my way down there because now it's 25 here. Let's see here. Let's jump over to Twitter. I want to see if we can do some investigating. I want to know about Firelight. So here, I'm just gonna have to log in real quick. Hey, where do my tabs go? Let me just log this in real quick. I might have to type my password in. Love you guys, but I don't know if y'all need to see my password. Almost there. Almost there. Oh my goodness. Okay, enter your password. Come on. Wait a minute. Yeah. Wait, am I crazy? Is this in this? Was there a new update for Windows that I don't know about? Why is it that my Twitter... Why are my Twitter and my YouTube chat in the same tab? Am I crazy? Have you guys seen this before? I don't know how to undo this. No, I don't want separate views. I've never seen that happen before. All right, so we're going to look for some Firelight stuff specifically because it's going live tomorrow. We got Hugo's got this is conversation stuff. All right, let's just search them up. Firelight. Let's see if we got any news. So, with Firelight's FI cap raise in sight, what are you planning to do with your ST XRP? That's a good question. What can you do with it? Maybe we can get some information here. It looks like Firelight's not available in Switzerland either. Just earning the points, waiting for a full launch in April. So if I'm reading this right, maybe we're not even getting the full launch and they're just raising the caps. See, this is the kind of thing I wish they would give us some concrete examples of what we can do in here. I feel like there was supposed to be a roadmap. I don't think we ever got it. So, oh, that's cool. So we'll have to keep an eye on this. Tomorrow it's going live, so we'll see what we can do with it. Oh, we might join this. I might join this. So Thursday we've got a Firelight Cap 2 party. It's gonna be at 10 a.m. Yeah, I'll join that. Maybe I'll stream it. So maybe Thursday we'll stream early. Maybe we'll start at 10, see what this is. I really want Firelight to succeed. It was the first thing I made FXRP for, so like I want to see good things coming out of this. But it looks like there's a lot of hype posts, but not necessarily a lot of information. So we'll have to keep an eye on it. But you guys will hear straight from me tomorrow what we can do. Maybe it's just a cap increase. Maybe it's... So this is what I would like it to be. So let me just click through all this stuff. What I would like is for one, I want to know what these points are all about. And then I want to know what the rewards are. Yeah, some of us have been in this thing since December 3rd, and it's almost April, and we still aren't any closer to knowing what Firelight does. So I'm hoping that they give us something tomorrow beyond just increasing the caps. Increasing the cap is cool. I'm happy about that. But it's been 4 months, and we still have nothing in the rewards section for us to look at. And so it's like, I want to know what's going on here. I got 1.4 million Firelight points. By the way, I wanted to put more in here altogether, but it just wasn't able to do that because it's been full. Tomorrow that will be resolved. We'll see. If we don't get good information about what this is, then I might oh, hold on. I saw something from Steph. I should definitely... I think I know what's going on there. But let me wrap up this thought real quick. I'm not sure I'm going to put more into Firelight unless I know what I'm getting out of it. Because even with my Kinetic, which I'm not entirely... Or my Mystic, which I'm not entirely thrilled with, at least I'm getting something. I mean, it's... At least I know, okay, I'm getting some flare. I'm getting some flare on like a daily basis. That's a reward. I don't know what I'm getting with Firelight. I don't know what these points are for. And so it's like, man, I really want this thing to succeed and be something cool, but if I don't know what I'm getting out of it, I don't know. At the end of the day, I'm going to go where the money's at. So we'll just have to wait and see. Steph, I think I know what's going on. Here in the United States, we have this thing called daylight saving time. And the daylight saving time quite literally changed, like a week ago, like last Saturday. And this might be weird to explain, but like, I don't like it one bit, but basically from like March to sometime in October, we like save, we save an hour. It's stupid. They make us set our clocks forward by an hour to give us more sunlight during the summer. And then you set your clocks 1 hour backward in the winter. I don't know if anyone has a really good explanation for why the United States does this. But it makes things very complicated. Because like the rest of the world doesn't do it. AV says ETH layer 2 protocols look like they have great potential. Do you have some that you can name and we can pop them up? Dean says if you look up Eastern Standard Time Zone, you'll see where we are for an 11 a.m. start time. I swear I just heard a fly land on my phone, but then I looked at my phone, he's not there. So, okay, Egan layer. Yeah, Dean, I think no states should. I think Arizona is one of the states that does not do daylight savings time. It messes up your... I've seen studies that actually messes up your circadian rhythm. Because now you're forcing yourself to do everything an hour earlier or an hour later. And oddly enough, your body actually does very good job at keeping track of time, even if your conscious brain can't. And so moving your sleep an hour forward, or like moving breakfast and lunch an hour forward, it can actually mess you up. So Eigenlayer is a decentralized Ethereum-based protocol that introduces restaking, allowing users to stake ETH or liquid staking tokens to secure additional applications or extra rewards. Okay, that's cool. So I just don't do a whole lot with ETH, but maybe I could be more open-minded to it. But this is cool stuff. And I think, what was it? AI Fly? What is this? Oh. Oh. I think we're just going to have to hit the back button on that one. So the Firelight F5 vault is being built on ERC 4626, letting users deposit an underlying asset and receive ERC 20 vault shares. Hey, good morning, David. If you guys don't mind, would you be cool with me just popping over 20 seconds to check on my meats? I'm meal prepping some bacon right now. Oh, okay. I see what you guys are saying in the chat there. I'm gonna go pop on my bacon. Just make sure it's not burning in the oven, and it as long as it's not burning, I'll just be right back. Oh, that's hot. Oh, that's hot. Oh, why did I do this? Oh, that's really hot. Oh, that's really hot. Oh. Woo. So if you guys don't know, I used to do a thing called the bacon diet, which is on my channel. I have them delisted, but you can find it. Anytime I put a little bit of extra weight on by accident, I just do the bacon diet. I can do this for like 3 or 4 weeks and shed like 15 pounds of fat. No, I just grabbed some bacon. But I grabbed it. I'm glad I went and checked on it because this is definitely like entering the burn zone. I'm just gonna take a quick bite of it. Bacon diet, very simple. It's literally the only thing you're allowed to eat on this program. If you watch the videos, you can either start with 2 pounds of bacon a day or 3 pounds of bacon a day. If you're a little bit leaner, you actually need more bacon, because what you're doing is you're getting your body into like deep ketosis. And so, you know, if not throwing shade, but if you're fat, you got like months worth of food on your body just walking around, like, because that's what body fat's there for. So the deeper ketosis you get in, the more easy it will be for your body to use its own body fat for energy. But if you get super lean, you don't have enough body fat to just like constantly be burning your own fat. And so if you wanted to get like super shredded, you'd probably want to have like 3 pounds of bacon per day, just so you don't start. Otherwise, you might have like heart palpitations or like other not health problems, but like just a lack of energy. You'd find yourself kind of breaking down or deteriorating. So super fat people could start with 2 pounds a day, and someone who's athletic could probably have 3 pounds a day, maybe even bump it up to 4 if they need to. But 1 pound of raw bacon, when you cook it down and you cook out all the moisture and all the fat in it, it actually comes out to about 3 to 4 ounces of finished product. And so you're taking something from, I mean, if you eat the bacon raw, it'd be like thousands of calories. But cooked bacon is actually super lean. 1 whole package of bacon cooked down is only about 600 calories. So I'm cooking down 2 pounds of bacon. That's only 1,200 calories. If I do this for a couple of days, like let's say I did it for 2 weeks, I could probably lose somewhere between 6 and 8 pounds of fat, depending on whether or not I stick with it over the weekends. Now that's the tricky part. When people hit you up and want to go out and have a couple beers, usually junk food comes with it. But it's the weeknights. I just got home from a pretty reckless, came home from a pretty reckless weekend. So I'm trying to jumpstart my health and fitness, which means I'm also avoiding caffeine for a few days. And this one really hurts. but there's gonna be no nicotine either. So getting myself back on track. Yeah, if you guys like that kind of stuff, it's on my old channel. Which it's still on the main channel. It's just I just hid all the videos because YouTube doesn't like it when you have two different topics going at the same time. And like, I said everything I had to say about the keto diet. I was like, I kind of want to try some different stuff here, but yeah, I used to do all kinds of stuff. I used to be a lot leaner. I'm a little chunky right now because I stopped caring, but you know, I did one week where I ate nothing but beef jerky. I did 1 week where I ate nothing but sardines. The bacon diet worked the best though. Where's that playlist button again? Yeah, here we go. The bacon mini cut. This is basically what I'm doing right now. I used to be a lot leaner. I used to have a pretty crazy looking hairstyle.
Calories per day. Everything actually was fine through the week. A lot of the times I was able to stick to this. There's just a few things that were going on that kind of made this challenge not work out quite as well as I wanted to. The good news is the long form videos on a Monday, so it's not like we're able to.
Dude, I used to be so skinny though. Let's see, the skinniest that I was ever at. Skinniest I ever got to. Competition prep. I think this would be where it was.
Hi everybody. I want to make a big announcement today. It's April 29th, the beautiful
I don't know, I
spring
can't find
day
it, but
here in Southeast Michigan. And my announcement is that
yeah, there's a time I wanted to be a fitness influencer, but it's just like anything else. It's all a bunch of BS. Like, it's just selling supplements and crap like that. So I eventually was like, I don't really want to do this anymore. But the bacon stuff was cool. The volume diet, I eventually moved on from carnivore to the volume diet. This was something you could like sustain for life.
Hey, what's going on, guys? I want
to. This was more like filling up your plate with as much fiber as you can, so that you can eat giant meals. So I'm making these giant salads, right? Like these salads were like out of control.
I'm gonna start adding the.
I could probably start doing this again, but I know I kind of hit that degen lifestyle for a while. Just going out, getting bar food, drinking beers, having nicotine every day. We'll see if I get back to it. Andrew, you should throw in a daily point about nutrition for 2 minutes each show. Any newbies watching will be thinking, how is he went from crypto to talking about bacon? I'll tell you one thing. You get all the vitamin B12 you'll ever need from a nice juicy red steak. Yeah, Dean, if you want to check this thing out, let's see. It's let's see, I did join me for a 2-week bacon cut. Yeah, I do this thing a couple times a year.
I took all my cameras with me. It was a river. I hit a rock. If you're joining me for the first time, what this is a 2-week program that I've put together that's going to lose a pretty sizable amount of body fat in just 2 weeks.
Why is the camera so like...
What we'll do starting next week, I'll do a check-in with you guys to see how things are going, but I'll also do kind of like a layering them as they are going to take a long
that's
time.
What
I'm
I
going
like
to flip
to
them
see.
later. I'm going to tell you this is the best. Oh yeah. What's
Bacon is nice and crispy. I'm pulling this out now, but we're gonna. This is literally in my oven right now. I mean, not like this exact tray, but I'll put these cookie trays in like a disposable tin. This makes a lot of bacon grease, man. This makes a lot of bacon grease. But you do this, you can get pretty lean pretty fast. Yeah, I used to have a mustache. Should I grow that mustache back out? What do you guys think? Iman says, upcoming FIP aimed at boosting Flare's utility and value. What is FIP? And do I do creatine? Yeah, creatine's one of those things that's fine. Dude, I forget to take it, man. I have like tubs of it and it's just like sits in my cupboard. I'd have to look more into that, Iman. I mean, we could throw that into the Discord if you want. You guys want to see the bacon? I got it. Bring it back. We can bring it over. I didn't know you guys cared so much about bacon. I would be telling you guys all about it earlier. So basically what I got here, I've got a wire rack. I've got a wire rack inside this pan so that I can just pour the grease into the trash. Otherwise, there's a whole pack of bacon here. No, the thing is, I gotta be really careful not to spill this shit all over my... Here, let me just do this real quick. So, I have to be careful how much I tilt this because there's just a whole bunch of grease in here. There's a whole pan of bacon. The cleanup is minimal as long as I use one of these trays. Now I'm gonna basically, this is my first pack of the day. I'm gonna have another pack later tonight, and I'm just gonna see if I can make it on 2 packs for the first week. If I pull this off successfully, guys, I should be like dropping a pound of body fat every other day. Oh man. Kristen says, put the grease in a syringe and inject it. You guys don't know how greasy this stuff gets. The cleanup is pretty excessive. I mean, Dean, if you really want, man, check it out. Before I was ever a crypto bro, I was a keto diet coach. I had a client lose over 100 pounds doing this, and he loved it. I was like, yeah, your weight, I don't even care how much bacon you eat, just eat bacon. He lost over 100 pounds. Well, this is cool. I'm glad you guys like this stuff. I'm gonna put this on a plate real quick. I will answer that question in just a second. I just don't want this to go cold. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna put it on a plate. Be back in like 30 seconds. Here we go. turning all my crypto homies into bacon dieters. So here's the thing about the bacon diet. A lot of people think it's unhealthy. It's because they don't understand how fats work. So when you think of fat being unhealthy, the reason you think it's unhealthy is because most of the fat that's in people's diet comes from seed oils, which are like super high in omega-6s. The bacon diet doesn't have that problem because this comes from pig fat. The fat that's in the pig fat it's basically the same as the fat that's already in your body. So like when you eat bacon, it's like compatible, right? It's almost like spare parts. Like your body's got all this your body has all these parts. And the bacon is like spare parts. It integrates with your own body's ecosystem very well. Whereas like seed oils, like I would challenge any of you guys 100 XRP to go make soybean oil with your hands. And at the end of that challenge, I will have a lot of XRP because all of you guys are going to be giving it to me. So it's I probably shouldn't be eating bacon while I talk, but let me just swallow this and I'll keep going. All right. It's time for me to really drop some hard knowledge here. So soybean oil, the canola oil, all that stuff, super high in omega-6s, very inflammatory. The bacon fat doesn't have any of that. In fact, it's quite the opposite. It's got omega-3s. Now, fish has better omega-3 levels than bacon does, but eating fish can get pretty expensive, so so I chose the bacon. But you don't have to do the bacon. It's just the bacon's cheap and very easy to get. Now, you could do sardines, which I was doing. I was eating a lot of sardines at one point, but that gets a little expensive too. Because to live on sardines, you need to eat like 10 to 15 tins a day. So that stopped happening. The bacon diet, though, what makes this so nice is when you get into ketosis, you're going to be pissing a lot. And the reason you're pissing is because you don't have any carbohydrates to hang on to as glycogen, right? So you're going to pee all that out. In the process, you're going to tank your electrolytes. Now, what the bacon has going for it, it's got salt and potassium by default. So, like, I don't get the low sodium bacon. I want the high sodium bacon. The pig fat or the pig like muscle, whatever you want to call it, the flesh of the pork has potassium, but you need that salt and you need them in good ratios in order to have an electrolyte balance. Now, so bacon will do that by default. Most people get into the keto diet. They don't take care of their electrolytes, and that's how they end up like getting dizzy and headaches and all that. And I did the keto diet for a long time. The reason I stopped was because I started training for a marathon. And for marathon running, I know some people say that you can run a marathon on keto. I just tend to disagree. Now, I'm not saying it can't be done. I just don't think it's optimal. So that's my opinion on that. But prior to running the marathon, I was keto for probably 2 years. Yeah, if you guys want to try it, I'll post a link to it in my in the live chat. Sometimes it's kind of interesting to go and look at my original videos and be like, wow, like I used to be like so nervous on camera, and now I just kind of, not that I don't care, but like you get used to it. You get used to being on camera. Here, you guys might like this one.
Hey guys, Andrew Fillion here.
Gosh,
this week
so
I've got a really fun video for you guys. I'm going to be going through the entire week eating nothing but bacon. Why am I going to be doing this?
Yeah, I'm just gonna eat nothing
well,
but bacon
it's
for
simple.
2 weeks.
I
It's
want to
kind of
burn
like
as much body fat as I
when
can
it's only
in
for
a
2
short
weeks.
time
It's kind of
span.
like, all right, it's like
See,
boot
I've got an
camp.
upcoming
I'm just going to
bodybuilding
boot
show,
camp.
and this
I'm
is what
going
I
to-
do to prepare for one.
I'm going
But
to
I also want
train.
to show people the real evidence of.
And I feel like when you have a diet and you like, oh, this is the rest of my life, it makes you not want to do it anymore. But when you have a challenge, it's like, all right, I'm eating nothing but bacon for 2 weeks. You get into that kind of like, all right, I can do this mindset. And that makes it more doable. Now you just lose the weight and then you just kind of go and do whatever you want after. I don't do this as a lifestyle. For me, it's just a means to an end. But eating bacon does get boring. Like when it's the only thing you're eating all day, it does get boring. Man, look how much leaner I used to be. I've gotten a lot better. I don't cook in one of these pans anymore. I just bake it. But I think I was too skinny back then. Like I looked almost malnourished. Like my head's too big for my body. I don't think I'd want to get that lean again. I think right now I'm probably about 16% body fat. I'd be cool with getting down to like 10% body fat, just enough to have a mild six pack for the summertime. I think would be fine enough. I think there are some ladies that watch, so I try to avoid some of the dating conversations to avoid, upsetting them. But your dating options are greatly expanded when you're in good shape. So that's all there is to say about that. Now, whether you get married or not is another story. All right, so guys, I'm gonna start wrapping up. I'm gonna eat my bacon. I gotta clean up. Yeah, I got out the. I'm stuttering here. I got off the airplane at like 12:30 last night. I got in pretty late, so picked up my dog from daycare and then I started streaming. I basically haven't done any chores yet. Like I haven't even unpacked my bags. So gonna try to get on that, get the day rolling, and then tomorrow I'll be on my normal schedule, and I think I'll have my streaming set up better tomorrow. I'll have all my tabs open, so we'll be able to kind of keep it more consistent that way. But in general, the prices have been holding on pretty good. We're at 152 on XRP right now. Bitcoin stayed above 74,000, so that's good. All in all, market's looking pretty good today. So let's see how this thing hangs on for tomorrow. Silver stayed down, gold stayed. Gold's over 5,000, and stock market looks like it's staying low. So we'll see how this plays out. I'm gonna eat this. I'm gonna try and lose about 10 pounds this week, or not this week. 10 pounds over the next 2 weeks. That's maybe a little aggressive. Maybe 3 weeks. For Dean, only one person's ever done it. Well, it hasn't really worked out. That's fine. I don't really want to do this for money. I just want to do it because I like doing it. I'd rather do something else for money. You should do stuff you don't like doing for money. And that's my opinion. So I'll probably go back to doing stuff I don't like doing for money so that this becomes something that is still enjoyable. Because if you rely on it for money, you will eventually come to hate it. So, I like talking crypto. I like hanging out with you guys. So I just want to do this just for the enjoyment of it. But I'm going to let you guys go because I want to start doing some chores. I want to clean the house and I want to see what other damage was done by the wind. I might have other problems I don't even know about yet. Well, see you guys tomorrow. Take care.